Welcome to the Bill Walton Show, featuring conversations with leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, and thinkers. Fresh perspectives on money, culture, politics, and human flourishing. Interesting people, interesting things.
Okay, Bill. So this is what I want you to do, is take a deep, true blue, fully real sigh of relief. Just close your eyes, really take it. Good. And notice what shifts in your body. And now just lick your lips. Take a little burble with your lips. and come into the chest. Just ha. Feel the warmth of that. And there you go.
So, am I ready?
You're ready.
I'm ready. Thank
You're
you.
ready.
I'm joined today by my good friend Leigh Wilson Smiley. Leigh is the director of the School of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies at the University of Maryland, College Park. She's also a professional voice, dialect, acting, and presentation coach. Leigh has worked with artistic teams at Center Stage, Everyman Theater, Roundhouse Theater, Ford's Theater, Arena Stage, John F. Kennedy Center, and the Folger Shakespeare Theater. She has coached NBC on-camera news spokespeople, Cirque du Soleil performers, lawyers, doctors, scientists, and numerous professionals in performance and presentation skills. And I think, as the opening may have revealed, she's also teaching me some things about voice and performance. Leigh is also my helping me out with some voice lessons. Since I started this show, I thought I might learn how to talk finally. And Leigh, thank you for being here. And it's really an honor to have you here. I look at your list of achievements, and they're stellar. How did you get into acting and performing? What brought you to this?
I was a professional horse rider in high school. I don't think I ever told you that.
No,
and I learned that I could act like a winner. And then I got tired of the horses because I grew up doing it.
You could act like a winner because you were a winner?
Oh, well, that was how I became a winner. Yes, I was. But it was an act because I'm very silly most of the time. But I would act very serious and very professional. So when I had the opportunity to start acting in high school, I did. I loved it. I went to college. I studied it. Moved to New York City. I studied it more. I auditioned. I worked in television on stage, and eventually went to Philadelphia, which is a smaller city, and gave me more opportunity to perform. And once there, I got a lot more experience and a lot more union cards, etc. And when I was in my early 30s, I went to an intensive up at Shakespeare and Company to really go into my work.
That's up in Massachusetts?
It's up in Lenox, Massachusetts. Yeah. It gives you a month to just really be indulgent about working. And I discovered the voice work that I teach, which is called the Linklater voice work. And it transformed my acting, but it transformed my direction in life also. I really wanted to teach it. So I spent the next 5 years learning to teach it with Kristen Linklater.
And Kristen Linklater brought sort of the whole body into the voice?
Yes, the whole body. It's the mind, the breath, the heart, the voice.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the movie Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly.
Of course I do,
And
yeah.
when I first gave you a call to talk about voice coaches, I thought I'd be doing that. You know, the rain in Spain made me in the plane.
Rain in Spain.
And then you come in and we start working, and all of a sudden all I'm doing is breathing and burbling.
Yeah, we really have to get over any kind of self-consciousness when you're being an actor.
One of the things we want to talk about on this show is that in working with you, I've come to appreciate what it takes as an actor or performer to build a character, and how the links between building a character and your own character become very interesting, because you discover a lot about yourself in that process. And I thought it'd be interesting for the people who watch this show to understand how an actor does go about building a role, building a performance. And so whether you decide to become an actor or performer or speaker, you can take a look at what people are doing on TV or film and say, gee, I understand a little bit more about how that works. Where would we begin?
So I think we would want to start with saying that the actor's instrument is the whole body. Some of the palette for creating art with that whole body is the actor's experience in life and the actor's imagination. So the first thing any actor, when he plays a character, needs to know is, what's my objective? What do I want? And we can't kind of want it. We have to want it with all of our being. So there's an urgency in that. So when I was thinking about doing this show with you, Bill, I called it the burning desire, because that's what we have to feel as an actor when we're approaching a character, a deep, deep life or death need to get the objective. So then there's actions that are chosen. How am I going to get what I want? And then there's obstacles. How am I going to get around the obstacles? That's a strategy. So those are some of the steps that an actor would take, thinking through a role. There's also the what if. What if something happened? What if I could fly? What if I were 12 years old, like Juliet? What if? Those are really important questions for the actor. The other thing is wondering. I wonder if. And then there's a given circumstances, right? So if we're doing Singing in the Rain, the time is the 40s or the 50s. Those are given circumstances. So all of that is there. That's some of how we approach it. Now, if the actor's instrument is the body, then we have to know this instrument really well, the way that any musician would know his or her violin, tuning the strings, all of that. So the body, anything that's held in the body is going to be held in the voice and held in the imagination. So actor training is serious because you're working through all these parts of your instrument. So your mind, your emotions, your breath, your voice, your body.
Well, you've talked to me about the fact that you see actors as emotional athletes.
Absolutely.
And so all of these things, I come from a world of business, and you don't exactly wear your emotions out there.
Right. So I use a palette of about 5 emotions, and there's many degrees to all of them. I use happy, sad, fearful, angry, and lustful. And that's something I got from a psychologist who studied actors and worked with actors at Yale and many other institutions. But we have to know what we're feeling. So I just saw Michael Cahn's Hamlet at...
Michael Kahn and Shakespeare in D.C.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was his final show. I wanted to honor him and honor the theater and see it. And, of course, in Hamlet, there's Hamlet who dies. Everybody dies, almost. But I was watching the woman who plays Gertrude, Hamlet's mother, and the expense of spirit. There's a sonnet that says, "The expense of spirit is a waste of shame." The expense of the emotions for that actress playing Gertrude, who's lost her husband, married her brother-in-law, and now her son has gone crazy and killed her advisor. And I mean, that to really allow an audience to experience, we go to theater because we're storytelling animals. We watch movies because we're storytelling animals. So there's a certain satisfaction, a way we figure out our world by listening to story. That's why we read to children. That's why we become addicted to Superman on television. So where was I going with this?
Well, with Gertrude, she was Hamlet's mother.
Mother, yes.
And the thing that's striking about acting on the stage, with film, you do the do a few rehearsals, you do the take, you're done, you move on to something else. You never do it again. A stage actor, maybe 7 or 8 times a week, has got to go repeat the same emotions,
Yeah,
the
it's
same
called
things,
creating
night
and
after night after
recreating.
night after
Yes.
night, which is how you talk to me about being able to, as an actor, to access these emotions. And part of the craft is being able to draw on to, okay, where's my anger, where's the fear, where's
Yes.
the lust,
Yeah,
and then
and
doing
where
it
is
night
it in the
after night.
body? Where is it,
Yeah.
and how does my breath feel when I feel that? So we're not acting like we feel. We are feeling as actors. And the director might say, I don't want you to feel that way, or I don't want you to cry at this point, but I want you to feel it inside. And that will give the audience a whole different emotion. On film or in television, you'll see the emotion. It's like energy coming off an actor's face, in their eyes, in the way they're breathing. We pick it up. On stage, it's bigger. We just have to amplify it.
So let's go through some of the things that you and I have been working on. You've been teaching me with great patience Shakespeare and how an actor approaches a role. Maybe to jump right into this, we ought to talk about an actor, a role, some lines, and make this concrete about how you'd approach a particular particular thing. You've brought some things in here
I did.
that are sort
I
of
think what I'd like to
sort
start.
of intimidating to this
Well,
this young man from Indiana.
so Bill, you should just let people know that you haven't seen these monologues yet.
I have not seen these.
Okay. So what I'm going to have you read is
This is a cold reading.
yes, it's a cold reading, and
Yes.
this is a really important technique that actors have to have.
Yeah.
Meaning, oftentimes they get. It's changed a lot in the last 10 years, but they get a they get their script and they go up and audition, and so they've got to make a lot of choices right away. What does your character want? So right now we're going to read Macbeth. You're going to read Macbeth, which if we were in the theater, I would say you can't say that out loud. We'd call him the Scottish king because there is.
Well, it's bad luck.
It's bad luck.
To,
yes.
to say Macbeth is
in
bad
the
luck.
theater. Yes.
Why is that?
It's just an old myth.
Okay.
You've got to read some of the old myths around it. What am I reading right now? Not Harold Bloom, but somebody else about it. Anyway.
Okay, but you can say it on TV.
You can.
You can't say it in the theater, so we're okay here.
Yeah, we're fine here. We're fine here. Okay. So this is after Macbeth has gotten back from the war, and his wife, Lady M, has said,
Lady Macbeth.
yes, Duncan, the king is coming,
Yeah.
and sweetheart, you're going to kill him when he comes, because it was predicted by the 3 witches that you are going to be the king.
So this was in his honeydew jar?
Yes, in his honeydew jar.
After you
By the
mow
way-
the lawn, go kill Duncan.
Yes, who happens to be a cousin, but oh well.
Okay, so
And is honoring your house.
So going through the list that we started out
Yeah.
with, who am I? I mean, what
You are a warrior.
Yeah.
You have been. It's been predicted that you're going to become what would be comparable to a senator, and then comparable to the president of the United States. So you can think of.
And that's a good thing.
I don't know.
Okay.
And it's something that you really want. You want it. You are.
Okay, I really
ambitious.
want to be president.
Yes.
That's
yes.
that's my burning desire.
Yes, that is your burning end.
Okay.
But you also want to be liked.
Yeah.
You want to be liked. You have a big heart, and you love your wife, who wants it more than you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are alone in the castle, and you are talking to the audience, trying to figure out what to do.
So in Shakespeare, a monologue, I've heard you're either talking to the audience like it's your best friend, or you're talking to God.
Yes. Yes.
So in this case, I'm talking to the audience.
Yes. You're going to figure something out with your best friend, the audience.
All right.
All right?
Okay.
Okay, so just start, and I may stop you and just make some suggestions, okay?
You've been known to do that.
Yes, I have been known to do that.
Okay. Just to be clear, I've
He
I've
hasn't
heard
even
this before.
spoken this.
I haven't spoken this. Okay. Okay. If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success.
Good, stop. Great. How'd that feel?
It felt pretty good. I'm
Okay.
trying to find the line. It's one of the interesting things about Shakespeare is the sentences don't, they line up as poetry, not as one thing, and so you're chasing the words down the page a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So I'm going to give you some given circumstances for reading Shakespeare anyway.
So my paraphrase is, if I'm going to kill him, I better do it quickly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. For the first sentence.
Okay.
And then the second, but this is what, you don't, it's going to come through. You know
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
If is a huge word in Shakespeare, as is but.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing I want you to notice is that the word murder is never said in the first line. What is it called?
It.
Yes.
It.
So
If it were done when 'tis done,
when it is, right? So it's
then 'twere
tis.
well it
Twere
were
well.
done
It
quickly.
were. Yeah. Yes, so take that again and
Yeah.
realize that you can't even put your mouth around what you're about to do.
And speak this to the audience, Bill.
And speak this to, all right, that disembodied, is that Hamlet's ghost back here? No, this is Banco's ghost?
No,
this is-
not yet. Not
This is
yet.
Kenny the director.
Kenny the director. Yeah. Great.
Speak to your
Thank you,
audience.
Kenny. Speak to my, okay,
So
my
speak
audience is
to-
out here.
speak- yeah.
Okay.
Just take a moment. Really, you can't wrap your mouth around it.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, then but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, would jump the life to come? But in these cases, we still have judgment here, but that we teach bloody instruction, which being taught returned to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned shallots to our own lips. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips.
Yeah, discovery.
Okay.
You just discovered something.
So what you're talking about is the character doesn't know what he's going to say next.
No, he doesn't.
So he's truly out there
Yes.
inventing this as he goes.
And that's what the actor does. He discovers every night. He doesn't know what he's going to say next. He discovers.
So in the emotion world, there's fear here.
The important thing is not necessarily what you think the character feels. It's what you feel.
What I feel.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could take the whole thing laughing. But I guarantee you, if you started it laughing, you would change. I mean, you could just start it. I've seen To Be or Not to Be done hysterically laughing, and by the end, it's in tears.
Really?
So, yeah, the words will lead you. I mean, they just did, Bill. I got it. The poison chalice to your own lips. You just talked yourself into drinking poison. And then what happens next in this monologue is something changes. Go on from where you stopped. Sorry.
He's here in double trust.
Yeah, you can't even say his name.
He's here in double trust. First, I am his kinsman and his subject, strong, both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murder shut the door. Nor bears the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his facilities so meek, hath
Good.
been
So
so
you
clear.
just say his name for the first time.
This Duncan,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's interesting the structure that Shakespeare's given you.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all the clues that an actor Once you say his name, something shifts too.
Okay, so you want me to explore
Keep
that?
going then,
All
yeah.
right. So I hope you all like this. 'Cause
It's
this is
fabulous.
certainly
You're doing. I mean,
interesting.
Bill is a natural actor.
Yeah, this
It's
is good
really
enough,
lovely.
yeah. Okay. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great audience, in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet tongue against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, the tears shall drown the wind.
One of the most beautiful lines. Keep going.
Upon the sightless couriers of the air shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind.
Yes.
I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaunting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
Great. And then Lady Macbeth comes in and says, and you say,
How now? What news?
and he is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which will be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Great. Good. So we'll stop there. But you see
Okay.
how you talked yourself out of killing him. If
Right.
it were done, when it were done, 'twere well it were done quickly. I'm about to go in and do it. And then you talk yourself out of it.
And when I say Duncan,
Yeah.
that's the turning point.
Well, there's a number of turning points in
Yeah.
there. You slowly talk yourself out of it, and it becomes, instead of it becomes something about cherubims howling in the wind. You know, the tears. It's the pity.
May I turn the tables?
Yes.
May I have you play Macbeth?
Oh, me? Yes, but don't expect anything, okay? I wouldn't want to disappoint. Okay. You want me to, do you want me to?
I want you to play what I just played. I'm interested
Okay.
in that. And you can do what you did earlier, one of our set. You want to play it as a southern belle?
No, I don't want to play this. If it were done,
play it straight.
when it were done, well, it were done quickly. I'm happy to think of
Egg
a
her on,
character.
Kenny. Egg her on. Come on. No, this because then I want to talk about the words and how this is handled.
Yeah.
'Cause
If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, then but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we did jump the life to come, but in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our own poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, both strong against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow this horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself.
wow.
But
Yeah,
Thank
let's hear it.
Thank you. That is the words. That is the words. And that's an instrument that has been trained, right?
I think you've got the part.
Oh, no.
You don't want to play that. Well, this.
But Bill, your first read of this was stunning. Just through, I mean, the words and the rhythm within the words. You were telling the story so beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
for
I think
me,
I've got
mine
some
would be
help. His
too
name's
much.
William Shakespeare.
Yeah, brilliant. Yes, brilliant.
I think we'll bring my acting class for today to a close. This has been extraordinary.
Well, you did an extraordinary job with that for having never read the play, never read that monologue before. So thank you. So I have a question for you, though, Bill. What is it that you feel when you read these words? Not just Measure for Measure, Angelo, or Macbeth. What is it that draws you to speaking this out loud, to learning to embody these characters and these words?
Well, in the first place, you can feel the thought and getting drawn along, and the vowels and the consonants, they're just so perfectly placed. I think you call it plosives or things like that.
Plosives and yes.
When there's something coming that's really needs to be emphasized, plump, plump, plump,
Yeah,
plump,
yep.
you get drawn into it. So the language draws you into it, and then it brings out an emotion. And then the other thing we talked earlier about, as the character doesn't know what he or she's going to say next.
No.
And so you find yourself getting really surprised by what this next sentence is.
Yeah.
And you and I've had this conversation. When I spend some time with Shakespeare, I begin to think, well, maybe I shouldn't do anything else except read Shakespeare.
Yeah,
'cause
it's a great book on a desert island.
So a line shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, the tears shall drown the wind.
Yeah.
You all of a sudden just are right there. It's so vivid. And we're brought up in movies, TV, largely, not so much stage. And what he does here, for me anyway, is the images that come up make you feel like you're in a movie.
Yes.
Where you're in this space that's conjured up completely by the words.
Yes. So this human imagination, it's like an appetite that it can be satisfied by great art. And speaking these words actually releases energy, I think, and helps human beings become more human.
Well, we've had this conversation before, because as an actor learns about the character, the actor is also learning about himself.
Yes.
And you're finding emotions in order to find. In this case, it's something where the emotions come from the Shakespeare, and then you begin finding them in yourself.
Yes. Yeah, they tap into you.
Which is, you could also almost use Shakespeare as therapy.
Yep. Well, and I think that they do. It's brought into prisons. It's brought into many places.
Go play Macbeth and find out what you learn about yourself.
Right. Exactly. And again, I think that as actors or people who approach acting, because we can call anyone an actor. We're all performers. We're all performing a role. All the world's a stage. And all the men and women players. I know I just butchered that, but
pretty good.
that's Jake Weaves from As You Like It.
Okay.
But I think that we're all performing, and the better we know ourselves, the better we know the depth of our feeling, more comfortable we are with all of that, then the more we're going to receive from other people. So it has to do with listening, breathing, being aware of where you are in space, being aware of your voice and how it affects others. All of that helps your presence and helps you to inspire other people's presence.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is great. So more to come.
More to come.
Next show.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Thanks,
Great.
Bill.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Want more? Be sure to subscribe at thebillwaltonshow.com or on iTunes.